So where do you see, the impending economic crisis, especially with the vaccination disaster, and also, truth about the CCP virus, and those things were very, very, very much popular on your war room as well. Where do you see the public, future when we're facing
I think there's, if you just look in the United States with the problems with inflation, the problems of trying to wring inflation out of there, but most importantly, nobody's paying attention to essentially the collapse of the Chinese economy. This doesn't make sense how they locked down and why they locked down 400 million people for as long as they did. And now they pretend like, oh, we didn't lock anybody down. Something is deeply wrong in China, right? And we know this. The economy is basically imploding. Unemployment with youth is out of control. They still have the massive problem with real estate. There's something deeply wrong at the core of the Chinese economy. And what that is that is not really economy. It's really run by a gangster organization. Remember that gangster organization's number one priority is not helping the Chinese people. It's grabbing as much wealth as they can get and get it out of the country as quickly as possible and put it into real estate here in New York City and in West London, right? That's their number one objective, is to take the wealth and the hard work off the sweat of the brow of the Chinese people who work for slave wages and work in slave conditions. It's to take that wealth and to money launder it into the West for influence peddling, to take control of Wall Street, to influence giant corporations in these governments in the UK, in Europe, in Latin America, and in the United States. Okay? There's something deeply wrong with that economy. And the world's economy is not going to kick back in until we get to the roots of what happened in Wuhan, what's happened with this pandemic, what's the story of this virus, right? And then what's happened to the supply chains in China. I think that we're heading towards an economic catastrophe because the world will not hold, the elites in the world will not hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable. The people in Davos, the World Economic Forum, the people in Brussels, in Washington, D.C., in New York, the City of London, will not hold a criminal organization accountable for what they've done to their own people and what they've done to the world. And I think we're heading to an economic catastrophe. But that catastrophe, I think may actually help, because I think it's going to wash away the Chinese Communist Party. Once the material nature of the atheistic, materialistic Chinese Communist Party implodes onto Lao Beijing, I think you'll see a change, and a big change coming in Beijing.